The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Would you like to sample some of my nuts?
You can lift your weights, you can run your miles, but you ain't got what's been earned through trials. It ain't in the gym, ain't in the youth, it's in busted knuckles and hard-lived truth. Back's been sore since 99, but I still stack wood and I still outgrind. Call me slow, call me old, but I got hands that could bend pure gold. Ain't about muscle, ain't about speed, it's about the fire when the time comes to lead. You can talk real tough, you can flex real wide, but when it's time to dig in, boys, step aside. Old man strength, built to last, years of work, no need for class. Ain't no quit, ain't no doubt, you don't know tough till you've been worn out.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Old Man Strength. We are live from the Revelry room at the Hotel Renaissance Savery. Super excited to be here tonight. We've got drinks by Revelton Distilling Company, our primary sponsor. We've got the other sponsors in the house. We've got Styled by JJ Boutique. And, of course, we've brought the AKC Andrew Downs Marketing Studio on the road tonight. That's a lot. I need my breath. I've had some drinks already, so here we go. I am welcomed with my temporary co-host because Aaron lives in Washington and he's too cheap to fly into Des Moines. Dave Larson is here. And, of course, we're joined with the GM here of the Revelry Room, Matt Cartwright. Matt, how are you?
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Before we get started.
Thanks for being here.
Super excited to be here.
Our pleasure.
Before we get started, Three Beards Media, part of our mission at Three Beards Media is to always give back to the community. So you'll find on your tables a little flyer here about Oak Park Elementary School. It's a school that my daughter teaches at on the north side of Des Moines, and they are doing a fundraiser for personal hygiene products there. So we're looking to try to fill their needs. So if you're interested and you want to help Oak Park Elementary School, there's 3 ways you can do that. You can drop stuff off. There's a QR code there to the location of the school. You can order right off of their Amazon wish list and order some stuff. It'll ship right to the school. Or you can Venmo Three Beards Media. We promise we won't take any money out of there, and we will go ahead and donate it right to the school. Last year we did this, and we were able to fulfill every kid at that school with a bag full of toiletries. So
Very cool.
Yeah. So think about doing that. Think about giving back to them. Again, we're super excited to be here. This has been in the works for probably a month or so. I finally got decent equipment, so it doesn't sound like we're talking out of a cracker box, so that's super cool. Matt, thanks for having us at the Revelry Room.
It's such a pleasure. This is really cool. This is why, I wanted to get into restaurants to begin with, is to do cool things with cool people and help the community and get like-minded people together doing things for Des Moines, for the hotel, and, for elementary schools. That's such a cool thing you're doing.
And this is such a great location. You're right here on the corner. You've got great visibility, and of course, one of the oldest hotels in all of Des Moines.
Yeah, actually, with the Savery Hotel. Savery is a family name. So this is the third rendition of the Savery. The first one burnt down. The second one was demolished. Third time's the charm. We've been going strong since 1919, and at about that time, they upped the rates from $2 a night to $3 a night, which caused a really big splash in the Midwest market.
Thus, you had to open the bar.
Yes, that's why we're here exactly. To help a little padding on that. But No, but we're part of the historic registry, so we have a lot of character, and that's how I call it. I call it character.
So-
a little funk to the hotel.
Did I hear a story you tell last time we were here that Al Capone had set up shop down in the basement? Wait, this is when we need Willie Farrell here to verify this story. About Al
That is a true story. We do have an actual Al Capone speakeasy. Not one of the cute little ones that are trending now, where you pull a book out of a shelf, and and it slides by. But no, we had still have it. You need a hard hat and some power tools to get to it. But Al Capone did have a speakeasy here and did run, I believe, Templeton Rye was the original product. But
we don't claim them on this
I know.
podcast.
And we also had some bathtub gin, which is where you'll get the
He's
bathtub.
not very good at this. I'm sorry, Rob.
It's true history. It's true history. But yeah, and we have a spa system that is no longer up to code, but straight out of The Sopranos downstairs with some secret entrances and stuff. So there's a lot of really interesting things going on through our history. And we're also the first barracks for the Women Auxiliary Corps.
Oh, okay.
So during World War II, and then kind of set the trend for the rest of Des Moines that also popped up. So we've always been on kind of the forefront of history, and did an entire renovation in 2018 and reopened in 2019. And
Right in time for the pandemic.
perfect
That's a great,
timing,
that's a
right?
great job.
perfect time to have a bunch of investors put some money in things. But no, we're on the right track, and we just reopened Revelry Room. It was previously named Coda Lounge, and that happened at the end of May. So we've been here for a couple of months and picking up momentum. And yeah, it's a great location. We have a lot of stuff going on downtown with the performances that are down the street and things like that. So hopefully, when the patios close down this fall and it starts to get cold, people will, want to be back inside and experience a little history with it.
You bet. So you had a previous job here. What made you want to become the GM here at Revelry Room?
Yeah, previously, so my first almost 3 years, I was our catering sales and social events manager, but my background is all in restaurants. So I moved to Los Angeles to pursue music, and like every other poor schmuck from the Midwest, fell into restaurants, by accident, but was very excited about it right from the get-go. Moved to Miami, continued to work in restaurants, and was lucky enough to be in some really, really awesome environments and really cool places. And when I came back, I was just back to Iowa, was just looking for a way to get back into hospitality and hotels. There's a special kind of chaos in hotels that you grow to love. And but it was the right time, and came back into restaurants, and I've been here since July 7th was when I took over as the GM of restaurants, and not looking back.
Great.
Are you still involved with music at all? Because it looks like you might have some space where you could set up and jam a little bit. And we've got renowned musical artists. We'll keep sitting over here, who'll be one of our guests tonight as well.
What's the saying about jack of all trades, master of none?
Got it.
Oh, I use that at my job all the time.
Something, I think that's on your business card, actually, Chris. But no, I've always been involved with music, but I found out that there's certain things that I wouldn't do for a career in music that inevitably I ended up doing for restaurants and hospitality. And I wish that wasn't by design or by choice, but that's, you can't really pick your own poison sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of that better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Isn't that?
Pretty close to
Yeah,
that. Something like that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, what's on tap for Revelry Room coming up then? What?
So we're starting. This is really the first big activation that we've done. Activation, sorry, that's some industry jargon, but events that we have.
Event. Let's
And
use event.
something that we're going to continue to do. We have live music coming down the pipeline. I'll have a calendar that will go out and will be announced to the public and to the Des Moines Register. Usually is who helps push that stuff out. And I just really like working with awesome companies like Revelton. We carry Revelton in our bar, and we have a new menu coming out and a happy hour that's going to start on Wednesday, I believe. But we'll have some printed Revelton cocktails on there as well. That has nothing to do with tonight, just everything to do with working with really cool people that make a phenomenal product.
They really do. Yeah. Well, I'm super excited to be here tonight. I can't wait to dive in, have some drinks. How do you get one of your bartenders to bring me a drink over here? Who do I got to talk to? Clearly not you. I can't.
well,
clearly not
Christopher,
somebody-
you have 3 bottles sitting
Yeah,
right here.
I need to be able to get.
if you
through
give
the
me
podcast
just a
before-
little wink, I can probably connect the dots and get you taken care of.
I don't know.
but-
Last time I gave you a wink, didn't go very well.
I thought it went great, but that's, I guess, here nor there.
And if people are around, you're open tonight for a while, right? Because we're
Correct.
here and serving Revelton spirits.
Correct. We have specials going at the bar right now with 3 separate Revelton spirits. We also have some free samples of our single barrel apple cider that is being served on the other side there, hopefully to entice some people to come in and come up to the bar. But we also have their mulberry gin and tonic. And as I actually told the Revelton team, I drank that just kind of out of spite for the first time, being like, what is this going to be about?
Sure.
And it is.
Prove me wrong, right?
It is so. They proved me wrong real quick, and that's a great way to learn a lesson is to do it out of spite. So I think it's the best gin and tonic you can have, and we have that as a special here tonight as well. The single barrel is a really cool product that they have. That's something that we don't typically carry, but we will start carrying as well. And the honey whiskey is, honey and whiskey. What more do you need to say about that?
I was telling Rob, I texted Rob earlier this week. I was in Utah last week, and granted, it was Utah, so that I don't know that they know their spirits very well. But I had a couple old fashions there. They were not near as good as the one that I had here when we were here the other night with that honey old fashioned.
Yeah, that was a really
I
cool
legit
text.
I legit did not taste. It did not taste like there was bourbon in it. You could feel it, and you got the flavor of it and everything else. But I left here thinking that could have been dangerous because I could have drank 3 or 4 of those and not.
Back to the
so-
master of none, I'm going to give all of that credit to Revelton of making a really easy product. And speaking of that, if I can do a little pitch for him, with that honey whiskey, you really don't need to do a whole lot to that. You can put that with some bitters on ice, and it is almost a cocktail in a bottle. So it makes my job pretty easy when that's a special we're pumping out. But yeah, Revelton specials at the bar for $10. We have 3 different options, and if those 3 don't strike your fancy, I'm sure Brooke or Chris can come up with something that will scratch the itch.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we need Christy here because she's the one that makes all the good drinks.
Yes,
So-
I know.
But
And she's probably the better looking half, I think.
Yeah.
Rob's like, I didn't know I was coming here to just
smarter.
get roasted all night. But it's what happens when old friends.
We
show
love
up.
you, Rob, though. We love
That's
you.
right. Well, let's get started. Let's bring up our guest. I can't thank you enough for having us here, and let's have some drinks. Let's raise some money and have a good time.
Real excited. I'll be back with something put in your hand for you.
All right, perfect. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you very
Great.
much for
All
being
right.
here. I'll see you
Back
back
in
Party
our
guys.
Revelry room.
when we're talking about the Bears.
Oh yeah, we'll get to
Oh,
that.
no.
Yeah, we'll
Can we
get
not
to that.
talk about the Bears?
Yo, that's
Please.
Listen, the conversation was
You
going to
knew-
happen anyways, regardless of what happened yesterday.
That-
It's
that's
just going to be a
true.
lot funner for
It's
me
just
now.
from a different
so-
perspective, I
right.
guess, right?
So what we're going to do is we're gonna have our guest come up. We're going to get our first break here. We're going to listen to an ad about Revelton and their single barrel bourbon, and then when we come back,
Which don't you usually start off with, what have you been up to?
yeah, what have you been up to, Dave?
Well, we've been doing Side of the Storm,
Yes,
which has been
yes.
hugely successful. And
That's
this
right.
is very different for me because typically in the
It's
Side of the
just
Storm
you.
lead up, I'm sitting there and I have at least an hour to myself, and I'm usually quite a few bottles in by that time. So this is a kind of a different experience for me to not have that experience.
And to also have
prior
a
to.
co-host in the same room with you. Usually, it's
This
just
is very
you.
different.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just you, and then Marcus and Brent are on whatever spheres they're on.
I know.
So,
I love them to death. What have you been up to? So the dog, we were coming over. Your wife was
Yes.
having a birthday.
Saturday was my wife's birthday, and we had plans. You, Tim, and Sarah were going to come over.
Yeah.
Some other friends, and 15 minutes before you guys were supposed to come over, I noticed that Bubba, our dog, was kind of limping around.
We were late, obviously.
Well,
I mean,
no, I
yeah,
mean,
we were on
but-
the way, but we were late as
So,
normal.
we let the dog out. Caitlin is living with us, and she's got a 1-year-old puppy. And Bubba, just like every other old man in the house, thinks, "Oh, I can keep up with that young dog." And so they were running around the backyard pretty good. And pretty soon, Bubba pulls up limp. He's like dragging his leg. You can't put any weight on his leg. So of course we're like, "Well, we gotta call everybody and cancel. We gotta take him to the vet." And she checked him, whatever else, and it turns out she was just like, "Yeah, I think he pulled a muscle." And I was like, "Dude, I've been there. Like, I get it." It's like, so now he's getting babied. He gets more attention than I do at home. Stacy's carrying him around. It's like, It'll be fun. So, but the way to cancel.
Which you went through that, and you posted some things on Twitter. This is your, what, 8th anniversary. You went through quite your cancer ordeal 8 years ago.
8
and
years
each
ago.
year you do that reminder to
Yep.
just say, hey, look how far we can go together and defeating cancer and being in a much better space today than you were obviously back then. And just
Yep.
that look back. What's that been like for you to look back in that 8-year period of, obviously you didn't have Three Beards Media at that time.
No.
And having so much fun with that. You've seen the Cyclones just take off about that time as well.
Yep.
They were really what helped you get through that ordeal.
That Oklahoma game really was the caveat. I remember being sick, sitting at home, not being able to go to see anybody. Stacy wanted to obviously keep me kind of isolated so I wouldn't get sick or whatever. And I remember that morning, I was like, they're going to get so ran out of the building.
Sure.
And then, Kyle Kemp starting, never heard of that dude before. And they just never gave up. And then they beat TCU, and I'm going through chemo and radiation at the same time. And I just remember thinking, that's an inspiration for me. I watched a motivational video that had some clips from like movies and internet and inspirational speeches. And one of them, jokingly enough, was Rocky Balboa talking to his son about, you got one of two choices. You can lay in the street and let life kick the crap out of you and lay there and take it, or you can get up and move forward. And that's how winning's done. And I was like, I told Caitlin and I was like, well, that's what we're going to do. So, and by the grace of God, I just said from now on, I'm not going to be afraid to try anything. And here we are with Three Beards Media, podcasts, great sponsors, great friends. I have a wonderful job that I love, that I'm very grateful for and work really hard at. And so it's time to get back. So that's
There
what
we
we're
go.
doing.
Well, and as
So,
we go to break, can I just say, you, my friend, are an inspiration.
thank you very much,
Good
Steve.
job.
I appreciate it. All right, let's get a word from Revelton, and then we'll have our guest that everybody's here to talk to. They don't want to listen to me. Will Keeps.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
All right, and we're back again with another episode of Old Man Strength. Full disclosure, I said 5 minutes ago that Old Fashioned was the best drink I've had. I changed that now. It's this apple bourbon thing that I'm drinking now.
Really?
So how quickly my favorites change and so forth. So
Easy to influence.
that's right. Everybody, I want to welcome our guest, Will Keeps. Will, thank you so much for hopping on with us.
This the one I'm trying right now.
Yeah?
It's real good, man.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for wearing the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I actually own a Chicago Bears jersey. It's David Montgomery.
Oh, I own that
Chuck
one too.
Bruce, yeah.
He said he was coming to Dallas jersey if they won.
Oh, I
Yeah,
would
well, that didn't work. That
that
didn't work, did it?
Yeah.
Listen, the odds were in his favor at some point. I can tell you that. I've been a fan for a long time. I've seen enough of those games and things like that. We'll
Yeah.
get to that because
Right.
we're talking about the Bears later. My
Right.
plan was for you to talk me off the ledge. Now you need to talk me out of why we're not going to win the Super Bowl. But we'll get to that.
Okay.
Super
Will-
Bowl?
Yeah.
Super
Yes.
Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah, he's talking about Super Bowl. We got to make the playoffs.
It's a new.
You have one win.
It's a new
and
year.
you're going to the Super Bowl.
I'm an optimist, Dave. Are
We
you not
may need to
paying
cut you
attention?
off right now.
We may have to. We may have to. Will, this podcast started a long time ago with me and my friend, and we just talked about our dads and how we grew up and things like that. So in the spirit of that, what we always do is we ask our guests, tell us a little bit about where you grew up and what that was like.
I'm from the South Side of Chicago. My real name is William Holmes, and I call myself Will Keeps because I want you to keep my message everywhere you go. Keep my song. I do music too as well, so I want you to keep my music everywhere you go as well. So I call myself Will Keeps. I had no idea that Will Keeps was going to be a name that everybody knows, though. But from the South Side of Chicago, uh, 7 years old, my mom brought a man into the home, and he molested me and my sister at 7. My sister was 9, I was 7 years old. And when that happened, that changed my whole mindset, and I didn't even know it. I was angry. I was, I lost empathy. I was, I felt like I needed so much attention. Like after I walked up them stairs, after being molested, um, I went to my bedroom and I laid in that bed. And you know how you think about something over and over and over and over again, you can't get it out of your head? Well, that's what happened to me. I couldn't get it out of my head what happened to me that day. And it really changed my whole life in a negative way where I joined a gang. I was a part of a gang because I felt like I wasn't being protected in my own home, so I decided to be a part of something that I felt was going to protect me, and that was being a part of the gang. And come to realize, that wasn't protecting me either. That was actually hurting me as well. So at 15 years old, I was left for dead. My friend got shot in the head, and the gun got pointed to my head, and the gun jammed. And they beat me with a bat, and they stabbed me, and they cut me. That's why I wear a do-rag on my hair right now, because I got so many scars that when I used to wear my scars out in public, so many people would stare at my scars. They wouldn't look at me, they'll stare at my scars, so I decided to cover it up. So I started wearing do-rags. And so living that life and being a part of, and that's just only 2% of my story. And living that life and going through what I went through, I didn't feel like I was being protected. I didn't feel like nobody loved me. I didn't feel like that I would achieve anything. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel healthy. I felt alone. I didn't have mentors when I was growing up. And if I did, I didn't look at them as a true mentor to me, because I felt like nobody was really helping what I was going through in my life. So yeah, that's just a little piece of where I came from. I did go to college though. I went to Western University for about 2 years, and let me tell y'all something. Going to college my freshman year, they should have never had me go to college my freshman year, because as soon as I was alone without my parents, I was a fool. I was partying. I didn't care about school. I don't even know how I made it in 2 years. I was partying. I was with girls. I didn't want to study. I was trying to cheat on every test. I did not do college very well. But I came back home, and then I formed this group called Laid Back, and we actually got signed with Mary J. Blige. Y'all heard of Mary J. Blige?
Yep.
Yeah, we got signed with Mary J. Blige, and that didn't work out either, because my management went out there and tried to fight their whole crew, and so she just dropped us after that. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, that's part of my life. That's a little bit.
So let me ask you a question, because I obviously have never lived in situations like that or whatever else, but I used to have this mentality in my life where it was, why does it always happen to me? Why doesn't this happen for me? Why? Tell me a little bit, because that sounds like I'm resonating a little bit with that you got some bad beats there, and you can either overcome them, which obviously you did at this point, but at some point your psyche was probably like, nothing ever works out for me. Why doesn't it ever work out for me?
That's funny you said that, because I just told one of my students, when I got molested at 7 years old, that was the worst day of my life. When my mom and my dad temporarily abandoned me and my brother and my sister, that was the worst day of my life. When I saw my friend get killed and almost lost my life, that was the worst day of my life. So it's like everything, as I got older, I kept feeling like this is the worst day of my life. Things keep happening. And then when the shooting happened 2.5 years ago, that was the worst day of my life. So I talked to God, and I was like, why you keep giving me the worst days of my life? I'm trying to do good. I'm trying to do things that I have learned through the years, and try to use that to help others grow. Why you keep giving me the worst days of my life? But I have to sit back and realize that God has a purpose for everything and a reason for everything. And I realized that I'm a warrior, that he created a gladiator in a sense, because, you know, when gladiators go to war, they always get scarred up. And when you see me, I'm always scarred up. He brought me here to fight, and I didn't even know that. I didn't even know if I even wanted that job, but since I'm here, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to fight the way God want me to fight. And if I get scarred up again, so be it.
And Will, you ended up relocating to the Des Moines area because you had a brother that went
I had a
to
brother.
Drake?
I had a brother went to Drake. He was working at Garfield Restaurant at the time. You remember Garfield when that was open on the South Side? He worked at Garfield.
We're all Southsiders, so
Yeah.
oh yeah.
He worked at Garfield, and his name was Phil. He was the big, tall, bald head guy that was managing. I don't know if y'all remember him, but yeah, I came out here to be with him, and he literally took care of me while I was out here, and then he found another job in somewhere, and I went out on my own.
Moving from Chicago, coming to Des Moines, big difference there. What were some of the culture shocks here moving to Des Moines?
When I came out here, the gas was 89 cents. I called back home. I said, "Do you understand that the gas is 89 cents?" Because the gas in Chicago was like $2 and something, even back then when I came out here, like in '98. So when it was 89 cents out here, I was like, "What?" So that was one. But I really don't want to say this one, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
That's
So-
right. I put a disclaimer at the beginning. We'll say
Okay.
whatever we want.
I didn't know white girls love black guys so much. When I came out here to Iowa, I was like, because in Chicago, it wasn't really like that. So when I came out here, and I was like, hold up, is this a prank or something? I had no idea that white girls love. My wife is actually white right now. So, and it is not about white or black, or it's about the person. And my wife treats me well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She takes care of me. And so, you know, some people are kind of upset about me being with a white wife, but
Love is love, man.
love is
right.
love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But Will, you've been able to parlay some of your experiences now, and you've become that rock mentor for a lot of these students. Can you tell us a little bit about Starts Right Here and your mission? And you know, I think that you and I have talked a lot before, and you've got a book that came out that really talked through about why you put yourself in this position and how you've gotten here, and all of the experiences that led up to it. But you know, again, you're really at that point now where things are starting to really take shape in that vision that you had for these students and for these young adults, and helping them to overcome some of the experiences that they've been through, to show them that, hey, there is a way out. There is an opportunity that's out there for you. I'm going to show you how to get there.
Starts Right Here is it's like a universal name. I named it Starts Right Here because I feel like that you can start your life over wherever you are, you know what I'm saying, and whatever time it is. You can be in the kitchen and you want to change your life, it starts right here. You can be in LA somewhere or out of town somewhere, and you decide to change your life, it starts right here. You can be looking at me right now, and if you want to change your life, it starts right here. And that's why I named it Starts Right Here. And what I wanted to do for the kids is to let them know that your life can change if you want it, and it starts right here. And so, but I had no idea that I was going to build a school. I thought I was going to build like a after school program type thing. But one of my friends said, "Why don't you build a school?" And I said, "Man, I ain't no LeBron James." Usually when people build schools, you know what I'm saying, they're famous or something like that. You know, it's like, I don't know. But what I didn't realize, I had so many powerful friends. I had the chief of police as my friend. I had, even if you don't like Kim Reynolds, she was my friend. She still is my friend. I tell people you don't have to agree with everybody, but you don't never let a disagreement stop progress.
Amen.
You know? And so if she is helping me help my community in the way it needs to be helped at that time, I'm going to take all the help I can get from her. A lot of people was upset with that, but I decided to say, look, she is really down with helping me help my community, and I'm gonna ride with that. So Starts Right Here became like a alternative type school where we get kids who were left behind, kids who needed credit recovery, dropout prevention. We got kids who was DE kids who got suspended. They don't go home. They come to us, and so we built something that it was a different. We changed how education looked. You see how the more public schools they'll say what's the word they say now? They're changing education. But we're changing how education look as well, and we wanted to show people that in a small setting that you can really pour into the kids and understand what the kids are thinking, how they feel, and they will really talk to you more in a small setting other than the big setting. We can actually love them and hug them even more. I didn't think it was going to work like it's working, though. Like, I knew that it would be something like, it could be something different, but I had no idea that these kids really just wanted somebody to really, like, pay attention.
I follow you on LinkedIn, and one of the things that I absolutely love that you do, and I think there's probably a reason why, is you will post even the simplest things like, hey, so-and-so passed
A math test.
a math test.
Yeah.
Talk about why you post that and why it's so important.
Yeah, I didn't know.
To the normal passerby, they're like, okay, well, kids do that all the time.
No,
but there's a reason why you're posting.
Right. So the kids that I work with, they're dropouts. So passing the math test is huge for them. And then they get negative, you know what I'm saying, feedback from everything that they've been doing in the world. So when they see that people comment and say, congratulations, keep going, they're reading all that.
Yeah.
And when they're reading all that, they're getting even more hype, even more pumped to even pass the next class. So as soon as they pass another test, guess what they do? They run to me and say, can we take our picture?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Can we
that's
take a
great.
picture? So what we're doing, I had no idea those pictures was going to be something special for those kids like that. And I had no idea that the people that was watching it was going to have like hundreds of comments saying, congratulations, keep going. I'm telling you, when they read those comments, they get pumped up because they're so used to negative comments.
Yeah.
So when they see positive comments, they ready. Now, of course, we don't, you know, there's a percentage of kids who don't get it. They'll come in there, and we'll have kids who they'll see all the love that we bring to them, but they're so used to the negativity that the love that we bring to them, they're like, I'm not used to this, so I'm gonna cause some problems. I'm gonna cause the problems that I'm used to. So we have some kids that are coming in there and really create issues because that's what they're used to, and they're not trying to.
Mm-hmm.
It's too foreign to them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when people say, what do you do with those kids? So it starts right here. If you come in there and you change the culture and change how we move, it starts right here, then you're not ready for this program yet. So that means you have to go. The reason why I'm saying that, and the reason why I started that, because people will say, well, you just can't give up on them. No, it's not giving up on them. We have so many other kids who want to actually improve and do better. So one person can spoil the whole bunch. I've seen it happen. You know what I mean? So that one person just ain't ready for the program. It's not saying I'm kicking them out. You just ain't ready. But when you are ready, you come back.
Do you see a lot of students that are coming in based on referrals of alums or others that are already a part of the program that say, I want to be a part of this, that I see what you're doing, I could use that.
So you have
assistance too.
you have referrals from the more public schools, but then most of my kids are coming from social media. They see all those pictures you're talking about, you know, and the kids are actually promoting Starts Right Here. The kids that graduate, we had 91, actually, we just had one yesterday. So we had 91 graduates. These are kids that will have never graduated if we didn't open up our program. So yeah, so you got kids that are reaching out on social media. Like we got hundreds of kids on a waiting list. You know, and that's why I'm building 28,000 square foot housing and a school in the same building. 18 units of studio apartments for homeless youth, 18 to 24. And I'm building a school. Now, I can't talk too much about what this school is going to be because it's a surprise. And the people that we're working with, they want to do it together instead of me doing it on my own. So be ready for this big announcement that we're having for this school. So
Ooh, that's a tease.
yeah, so
And you also had your groundbreaking on perhaps the hottest day of the summer. But
didn't
you
know.
had
I
a
didn't
lot of
know.
you had a lot of dignitaries there. I mean, a lot of the community support was there. The governor was there. It was a very impressive turnout on such a warm day.
yeah, I've never had a groundbreaking or went to a groundbreaking before in my life. And I was in a meeting about 3 weeks ago, and there was a guy who was at the groundbreaking, and he said that was the best groundbreaking he ever been to because it was inspiring. And I'm thinking to myself,
They just
What's
dug
so special about this?
They just used the shovel. What's the big deal?
but it was the story. It was about the story. It was about the resilience. You know, if you want to go to that topic, go ahead right away. You know what I'm saying? The resilience. of
Well,
how do you keep going?
we'll talk about that, but I want to pivot back to something that you said about you working with Governor Reynolds, because that was the other thing I wanted to bring up is how inspiring I think that is, especially in the time period that we're in right now with so many people on one side or the other side. And this is something that Three Beards Media has tried to do in that to be open to other people's views. I have friends that don't necessarily see the same way as I do, but we can still break bread together, still be friends, still work towards a common goal. I think that's an important message that you have when you do things with Governor Reynolds. And to her credit, that she is open to that.
Oh yeah. That relationship. Okay, when I started my nonprofit, I'm thinking to myself, everybody's working together. Didn't realize nonprofits is a cutthroat. Once I started like getting funds and a lot of funds, there's other nonprofits that was trying to destroy me, trying to take me out. Spreading rumors, you know, and making people feel like, no, you can't trust him. But these people don't even know me. They telling people you can't trust me, all because I was moving forward and I was actually making a difference. So it kind of threw me off. I'm like, why is other nonprofits trying to hurt me when I'm actually doing something good? So I started thinking to myself, why is doing good hurt so bad? Like doing good really hurts bad. So working with Governor Kim Reynolds, I had no idea that we was actually going to be friends. When I say we like this, y'all, like she come over my house, you know what I'm saying? I go over her house, you know what I'm saying? Like we really are close.
Her house was a little bit bigger, though.
Yeah, but I have a big house, not playing. But being a Democrat and being friends with someone who's a Republican, which I don't look at that way. I look at it two people being friends. But I wanted people to see that a Democrat and a Republican can actually work together and make a difference. So when a lot of people are upset with that with me and they call me a Uncle Tom, they say I sold my soul to the devil, and they call me every name's in the book. But it used to bother me because to know that your own culture is attacking you, it used to bother me. But now I'm like, man, y'all don't even know me. And if y'all really get to know me and see what I'm doing, I'm really making a difference. Okay, so listen. I am a huge Star Wars fan.
Thank you very much. I like you, Will.
A huge Star. You must be a Star Trek fan. I am a huge Star Wars fan, and I always wanted to be one of the ones. I always wanted to be Luke Skywalker, one of the ones who helped save the galaxy. And then when the Matrix came out, I wanted to be Neo. I always wanted to be one of the ones. Now, I know I didn't have those type of powers that they had, but I have my own type of powers that God gave me. So now I feel like I'm one of the ones who is helping the community, who's helping people, who's changing mindset, who's giving people a different perspective. And I'm doing it with a do-rag on my head. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, people can't tell me that you can't do things in the world because of how you look. I'm hip hop. I'll go to a ball, you know what I'm saying, with maybe a button-down shirt and jeans and Timbs. And they all got on suits and
I don't know what Timbs are.
Timberlands.
Oh, okay. All right.
Come on, man.
I was just kidding. I knew what it was. Everybody calm down.
So
I believe that's a 90s reference, Chris.
Oh, okay.
You were wearing your leather New Balances still.
I was just getting my first pair of parachute pants.
yeah. So having that relationship with the governor, let me explain how huge that was. So when me and the governor used to hang out all the time, I'll take pictures like crazy and I'll post them on social media. So all these business people, like, the directors, CEOs, they was like, who is this guy with the do-rag on his head with the governor all the time? Because it's not easy to be with the governor. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with her all the time. So they started following me and started looking me up and looking me up and looking me up. And then they started realizing I'm actually doing something great in the community. So when I needed money to help build my school, and then I'm on the news and everything with my music. I do hip hop music when it comes down to bringing out a message. And the news start putting my music on TV. I'm like, I've never seen a news. They literally put like 5 of my songs on the news. Because
Well, and you've been on game days up at Iowa State, at Jack Trice Stadium as well.
so I have a song for Iowa State called Sea of Red. So if you ever heard of Sea of Red, that's me. You know what I'm saying? And we
I have it on my
we
phone.
are ISU. That's me too as well. So they play those songs. So I had no idea that people was going to support me because of they was going to follow me because of my relationship with the governor. So that opened up a whole bunch of doors for me. For people to actually come talk to me themselves and understand what I do and then know my heart. The one thing people always said is that I'm not like we have a meeting, I'm not the average person that have hi, today we're going to talk about, you know what I'm saying? I literally am myself. And a lot of professional people will say that's refreshing. Just being yourself. Just like you. When I met you, I was myself. I wasn't talking to you like, David Larson, my name is Will Keats. And I would like for you guys to help me out. That starts right here. And I said, what's up, Dave?
Yeah, I got a big old bear hug. I still remember. That's right.
Yeah. So it's having that relationship with people that have influence and people that know so many people can be huge when it comes down to your mission.
Yeah.
But it almost hurt me too. I took a picture. I was with Joni Ernst and Kim Reynolds in the war room when Joni Ernst had just got elected the last time. And I took a picture, and I was like this. I had Joni Ernst right here and the governor right here, and I'm taking a picture, and I'm like this. I posted that picture, and it went viral that I was Uncle Tom. And I was so many words I can't even, pronounce. And it went viral that I was like betraying my own community. And it broke my heart. Because if you looked at that picture, you should have saw somebody who was actually in the room with people that can actually help my community.
Yeah.
But they didn't see that picture. They saw a picture of people they thought was racist. They didn't see the true picture. I'm in the room. I'm on the inside. Now I can really talk to these politicians and say, look, we need help in our community. I don't just want you to see it on a sheet of paper or see it on the news. I want to bring you to what's going on in our community so you can really understand how to help our community.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've always admired in a couple of years that we've known each other is it's never been about you. It's at the end of the day, it's been about those kids and helping them out. And that's one thing that I think that all of us in the community should be thanking you for, because without someone like you, as authentic and genuine as you are, you go right to those kids and you love them as if they're your own. And then you've established this unique network with politicians and business owners and everyday Joes that are helping out in any way possible. And you're at this really important stage now where you're expanding your services and being able to help those kids in the community even more than what you have been.
And it's scary. It's scary because as our our nonprofit grow, it's a lot of more responsibility, a lot of more kids, and it's scary. But I'm loving it. I'm scared, but I'm loving it because I'm just gonna bring it out. After the shooting, I don't know if anybody know what happened, but 2023, January 23rd at 12 p.m. at 12:50 p.m. I saw 2 kids die and I almost lost my life. And I almost lost my life in the hands of a young man who was actually graduating within 2 days. We had him for 2 years, and he was actually graduating within 2 days. And to see him just go bananas like that, it broke my heart. He shot 33 rounds in like 9 seconds. And the first 3 seconds I was in shock. The 4th second I was already down. And those kids was already down too. And that's the worst day of my life. You know what I'm saying? I thought everything that we built to help these kids was over. But I had no idea that the community was going to rally behind us. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, that shooting pissed me off. It made me want to fight even harder. Of course, I was going through PTSD, you know what I'm saying, when I'll go to sleep and I'll see a gun barrel on my face. Or I'll see a young man with dreads and I'm thinking, you know, he's about to kill me. And there was so many different, I had anger issues as well, sometimes even with my wife. I was in so much pain, mentally and physically, that I still wanted to come back to work after 2 weeks of me being shot twice. But my board and my staff forced me to come back 30 days, you know what I'm saying, later. But I didn't want to I felt like if I was going to be in all this pain, I'd rather be in pain doing work instead of being in pain being at home. And so coming back was helping me like feel something again. I'm telling you. You know, you watch school shootings on TV and you tell yourself, I hope I'll never be involved in a situation like that. But to actually see kids die, and not just die, where he literally just keeps shooting them over and over and over and over and over again, and I couldn't do nothing. It broke my heart. It broke my heart. And then after that, to know that some people they blame me for the whole thing, and that broke my heart too. Cause I'm like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to know that was going to happen? You know? And
how's that relationship been like with the board that oversees, and I don't even know if it's necessarily overseen, but they give you advice and starts right here activities and helping you to be able to build that nonprofit to where you are today. What's that been like for you to have that structure in place?
when it comes down to my board, I got the best board ever. And I'm gonna give y'all, you know, when I talk, I'm gonna give y'all the ups and downs of everything. I have the best board ever, but I get criticized because I don't have enough black people on my board. But the thing is that I got people on my board that's actually doing the work. That's helping me help my community, and that's what we supposed to have, right?
Right.
Do it have to be? Do it have to be about race?
No.
Or do it have to be about the work? I got people on my board that's doing the work. That's why things are happening right now, because the work is being done. So when people criticize me for that, I'm starting to just laugh. Because you're worried about who's on my board other than the work that's being done.
Right.
So it's laughable.
It doesn't sound like that they want to get to the goal that you want. They'd much rather tear it down than support you.
You rather tear something
Yeah.
down that you've been begging to have
Right.
for years. You've been begging for something like this to be a part of our community. And now you want to tear it down because you don't like who I hang with.
Right. Well, and they're helping you, and they're working really hard. But the other portion of it that from what I see on the outside and kind of how I live my life is I want to interact with those people because it gives them a chance to see my side of things too in a human way, and vice versa. You can sit there with the governor and Senator Reynolds and some of those other people and have a conversation with them on a human level and understand where they're coming from, not from a policy standpoint, but from a point of what's in their heart and why they believe what they believe. Same as you. It gives them an avenue to see a different side of things in a human form.
Mm-hmm. You have, like when the pandemic happened, and me and the governor was talking all the time during that pandemic. Y'all don't realize how much in pain she was because of the pandemic. How it was so like how this was something new to the whole world. And we didn't know how to deal with it.
No one knew.
And so when you see the human side,
Yeah.
it's so crazy to be in the inside to actually know people that's making decisions and see that side of them that nobody else sees. So when they start talking about them in a negative way, I'm like, oh my God, you don't even understand what is happening here.
Right.
And what people are going through this time of making the most toughest decisions. And you cannot like what I'm saying right now, but I was there. I saw how much pain that this woman went through that whole pandemic.
So 91 graduates
91.
thus far.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of those students doing today? And I know a couple of them have come back, and they're a part of the Starts Right Here, and now they've become leaders that the next generation of students can look up to. What are some of your other students up to?
So yeah, we have about 3 kids right now that's actually working for Starts Right Here. They graduated and they're now working for us. We have 2 kids that work for Ruan Transit. One is actually one of the top 10 diesel techs at Ruan. Top 10.
I could have used one of those. Could have used one of those when
Top
my ambulance
10.
died in front of my house.
We have kids that work at Casey's, kids that work at Hy-Vee, kids that work at Wells Fargo. We have kids that work in so many different other places in schools. I'm telling you, most of these kids that are troubled kids want to help other kids.
Yeah.
It's like they want to be in position to actually help other kids, even though they're troubled kids themselves. So when I build my new building, I'm going to have at least almost 10 of the kids that I already graduated through my program to help me help others. So think about that. We're graduating kids and we're getting them jobs with the company that's actually got them graduated and other companies who are actually partnering with us. So it's changing the mindset. It's getting these. I will repeat myself to these kids over and over and over again. You know why? Because when they walk outside my school, they see the same negative. They see the same negative things that's going on in their life over and over again. So when they're in a positive situation, I repeat myself that positive thing. I'll repeat it over. And they'll be like, why you always repeat yourself? I said, because next time you go into a club and you know something about to happen, you're going to hear my voice. You're going to be like, man, Will's telling me to get out of here.
Yep.
And they get out of there. And so many kids would tell me they got out of situations where they're partying and they didn't feel right. And there was a shooting right after. So they're grateful. Even though I drive them crazy, but I will repeat myself like it's no tomorrow.
And let's face it, we're all dads.
That's
right.
We have
That's
to
right.
repeat ourselves over and over,
Over and
again.
over.
It drives them nuts.
Yeah.
I want to get a break here from our latest sponsor, a wonderful sponsor, styled by JJ Boutique from Julia Bradshaw. She's sitting over there at the bar. I took my wife over there on Saturday to do some shopping. So men, if you're looking for a unique gift, that's where you want to go. women, if you want to upgrade your style, you definitely want to go see Styled. Let's go ahead.
Did you have to dip into your 401k to be able to go?
I did
'Cause
not.
I know
because
how
it's
your wife
actually-
can
it's
spend.
actually very economical.
But your wife
although,
can spend.
Here's what's
like,
funny is I went for her birthday, but I walked out with something. So
Oh, wow.
how about that? So let's get a word, and I want to come back. I want to ask you kind of how you started your philanthropy. Right, at some point in your life, you changed from just being a guy that was trying to get by to, hey, I want to start to help people. What sparked that? And then when we come back, we'll talk about that. And then we're finally going to talk about my favorite subject, the Chicago Bears. So,
All right.
All right. So here we go. Let's get a word from Styled by JJ Boutique.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique. And that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, I get you, instead of I tried, head to Styled by JJ Boutique. Because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Visit our Johnston location or shop online at styledbyjjboutique.com.
All right, and we're back. Just so you know, this is how good Styled at JJ Boutique is. She made Bill Blank look good.
Whoa.
Okay, so right, at the fair show, she sponsored the fair show. She made Bill Blank look good every day. So if she can make Bill Blank, yeah. See, she walked out. I gave her. Did you go to the bathroom? Is that where you were? See, you missed out on the whole plug that I gave you. So, but if she can make Bill Blank look good, then you guys need to go see her shop.
Sign me up.
That's right,
what's up.
100%. Okay, Will, we talked a little bit. We talked about you coming to Des Moines, and then we talked about Starts Right Here. But there's a gap there somewhere.
What made me change my
What made
mindset?
you change your mindset?
My firstborn.
That'll do it.
Yeah, when I had my first daughter, I said, I'm done. I need to be a father to my daughter. And the crazy thing is that when I was gang banging, selling drugs, and doing the things I was doing, that was never who I was in the first place. When I was molested at 7 years old, I felt like I needed to find a whole new different family. And that family was that life. But it was never me. So when I had my daughter, the real me came back immediately. Like quick, fast, in a hurry, immediately. Mm-hmm. I knew I had to be the person I always wanted to be, that I knew who I was, so I can make sure that I'm that father to my daughter. So that changed my life right there, period.
Nothing like being a girl dad.
Crazy. But till them girls grow up.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and then they say everything you're being controlling. No, I'm just trying to be your father.
And you have a new title now, right? Grandpapa?
Oh, I'm a grandpa. Yeah, I'm a granddaddy. I had two grandbabies. Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, I still look young, man. I don't understand why.
Say, you don't look old enough to have grandkids.
Y'all know how old I am?
I would guess 47.
I'm 52.
Oh, I got you by 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the old in the old man's brain.
Yeah.
I tell these kids I'm 52 years old. They look at me like I'm crazy. They say, no way.
Do you have any gray hair?
I dyed my hair.
There we go.
I dyed my hair.
Everything comes out.
I got nothing but grays in my hair.
You just totally lost your street cred, Will.
Hey. But yeah.
That's great. We're gonna take one more break here. We'll get a word from Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. So we ask a question at the Wintrust Mortgage Kyle Lehman portion. So here's the question. You can think about your answer. What one thing in Chicago Bears history, if you could change, one play, one instance, one season, if you could think of one thing that you could change and change the course of the franchise, what would it be? Don't answer yet. Think about your answer.
That's an easy answer.
I
ain't got to wait for that.
I think you and I might
curious.
have.
I might have.
I think you and I might have the same answer.
This is back in the day, though, not now.
All right. So we will get a word from Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. We'll come back with the most important question of the night, frankly, is about the Chicago Bears.
Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546.
All right, and we're back with the most important question of the night from Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Again, if you're refinancing your home, if you're looking for a home, you want to get with Kyle, get pre-qualified, check him out. All right, well, the question was, what one thing in the Chicago Bears history could you change to change the course of the Chicago Bears franchise?
So this is the 1985 Bears.
Yep.
My favorite Bear is actually Jim McMahon.
Oh, my God. You and I might be best friends.
So I wish Jim McMahon would never be this rebel, you know what I'm saying, and stop getting hurt all
Yes.
the time. I wish they knew how to slide back
Yes.
then.
Yeah, right.
Jim McMahon is one of our most popular quarterbacks in the history of the Chicago Bears. And I wish that he would have stayed healthy and we probably would have won more Super Bowls with Jim McMahon. Now we have Caleb Williams.
Yes.
Now Caleb Williams he got on my nerves for a long time. But something he showed me something Sunday, even though the Dallas Cowboy defense is not that great. But he showed me something. He showed me that he can actually listen and pay attention to what the coaches actually tell him to do. Because before he was trying to do everything on his own. But Caleb actually showed something. But I am still negative when it comes down to Chicago Bears. Let me tell you why.
Because you've been a fan long enough.
We
to know.
had look. There is I'm in this group chat, this text group chat with my cousins and my friends, and every time the Bears did something good, I'm being negative. Well, they're gonna trick us. You know, this is trickery. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way I'm about to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You know what I'm saying? And my cousins and them was getting on them real tough, like, you being negative, blah, 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 they're playing good. I said, this is only one game. I said, every time I start loving the Bears after one game, the next game, they tear me apart. Like, I literally, when the Bears lose, I can't eat.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I'm not lying to you. When the Bears lose, I can't eat. Thank you. I can't eat.
You must not be eating much.
Okay, there's no need for.
All right. Look, I'm not.
Now,
I'm
Caleb
not,
Williams had like 49 fantasy points, and I sat him on my bench because I did not want to cheer for Caleb Williams against the Cowboys.
You a Cowboy fan?
Oh, yeah. That's why I texted you yesterday.
Why don't you get out of here?
No. You've been to the Super Bowl
like
more
Jay
more
Murphy,
frequently
the
than we
Packers
have.
fan.
Right now, I'm about to turn into Stephen A. You know he hates the Cowboys.
Well, my answer is twofold. Number one, I'm never going to forgive the Fridge for scoring that touchdown when it should have been Walter.
Walter Payton.
Walter should
Should have
have.
been Walter.
Yeah.
So that's number one. You cursed us.
That's not his fault.
I
Don't
know,
blame him
but
for
you
that.
cursed us for the rest of our time because you didn't let the greatest player in Chicago Bears history score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But the other one for me
Blame
is,
Dicker.
Yeah, well, I blame him for a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one is obviously the double doink. That
Oh
completely
my
screwed us
God.
so bad.
Trubisky was the quarterback.
Yeah, we had that game.
We had that game.
We had that game won, and they double doinked it. So
Can I add one?
sure, go ahead.
So you know that I host with Side of the Storm
Yeah.
with Brent Gervais and Marcus Pfizer.
Yep.
I would say that the Bears should have drafted or signed Brent Gervais. I think
You're such a
you saw
such a suck up.
you saw what Will McDonald did yesterday for
Yeah.
the Jets. So he jumps over the offensive and defensive lines, blocks the kick, and then catches the ball and takes it all the way for a touchdown.
What else do he do?
That's what Brent Gervais used to do for Iowa State.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't even know who that is. I'm sitting here like this. Come on, man.
I'll
But I
show
don't
you
even know who that
highlights later. I'll show you highlights later.
Brent, I got your back, buddy.
That's right. I'll show you highlights later.
Yeah, and you know,
Wait a minute, he's
Pfizer,
here?
you were a Chicago Bulls fan, right?
lives in
yes. Yeah, you know Pfizer.
Marcus Pfizer?
Michael Fight. Yes, I know Michael Fight.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on our other podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of podcasts,
You don't want me to say.
speaking of podcasts, I
Right.
saw on your social media your Starts Right Here podcast. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're starting the Starts Right Here podcast. I'm kind of scared of that too.
I don't know. You seem to be doing fairly well, so I think you'll be all right.
Well, because we're realists, you know what I'm saying, and we don't hold back. So what we want to do is we want to give the parents a heads up on how kids are and how the reason why they act the way they act, and we want to talk to the kids and why they act the way towards their parents. We want to give like inside scoop and how to deal with certain things when it comes down to the youth. And we want to give the kids some inside scoop and how to deal with their parents, you know. So it's like it's going to be real conversations on how. Say you got a kid that is just. They started off being just the nicest kid in the world, then all of a sudden at the age of 12, 13 years old, they just turned, and you're like, what the hell just happened? Well, what we realized is that during that age, they start watching a lot of social media, start seeing a lot of things in the street. They start listening to certain type of music, and they'll choose who they want to parent them. If they want the streets and social media to parent them, or they want their real parent to parent them. So they start to choose. And because the social media and the streets is so impactful, what do you think they're gonna choose? Especially if they have, and I hate to say it this way, if they have that mindset that is not that strong.
Yeah.
It's just keeping it 100. It's not that strong. I had a mother call me up and said that my son listened to this music that's talking about killing and killing girls and having sex with girls and just killing. But I can't get my son to stop listening to this music. And I told her, I said, you're not. She said, why? I said, because it's too electrifying. It's too enticing. They're not going to stop listening to it. Once you tell them to stop, they're going to listen to it even more. I said, what you can do is this. You can start listening to some of that music with him. That's not as, like you can tolerate. Listen to some of that music that's with him. And then when you listen to that music, you start to, and your son is going to be like, oh, you're listening to this music with me? He's going to start to think like, wow, my mom is listening to this music with me. But now you can start talking to your son and say, this is just music. You don't have to be what they're saying. You don't have to act like what they're saying. The goal is to get your kid to actually like bond with you in a sense so they can actually listen to you. But once you start going bam, 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 they're going to think you're trying to take away something from them. And they're going to rebel like it's no tomorrow. I'll tell kids all day, some of my favorite series was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Right? I love that series. But that don't mean I need to become a
wielding a chainsaw.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to go out there and start killing people with a chainsaw. So the music, even though a lot of those music I can't stand, but in order to have your kid to listen to you, you have to sometimes stoop to their level a little bit and win a part of their heart. So they can actually think you cool at one point. And then once they start thinking you cool, a little bit cool, they'll start probably listening to you because you're not hitting them all the time. Yeah. It might work for some, and if not, some kids just don't want to love their parents at all. They just want to hate their parents because they just don't know what it is. They don't want to listen to their parents at all. But this is a step that you can try. So these are some of the conversations we're going to have at our podcast.
Great. That sounds great. All right, we're at our last segment. I'm going to be cognizant of your time. This segment is what we call the STFU segment, where we tell people to shut the F up.
Okay, there you go.
So,
I'm like, what is that?
But Dave and I have to shut the F up, and you get to say whatever you want, carte blanche. But normally what we do is we play an ad to invite people to donate to the Young Women's Resource Center, because that's what Three Beards Media does. We try to give money back. But tonight, I'm going to invite everybody to scan a QR code here, purchase something off the Amazon wish list if you would, or send a Venmo to Three Beards Media so we can go ahead and get those kids the hygiene, the toothpaste, the toothbrushes. They're supplying. It's a school that my daughter teaches kindergarten at on the north side at Oak Park Elementary School. So with that, we ask that you scan the QR code or donate or buy something off the Amazon wish list. And with that, any topic you want. You want to trash the Cowboys, you go right ahead. Dave can't say anything. You want to make fun of his clothes. You want to make fun of anything with Dave, anything you want to do, or any other topic. Dave and I have to STF you, and you can say whatever you want.
Remember, we're friends, so don't trash me
Hey,
too
you're
much.
not supposed to talk. The whole point is for you to shut
Well,
up.
I thought you played the commercial.
No, because I just gave my commercial.
Okay.
You don't even know how this works, Dave.
I listen to your podcast all the time.
Well, clearly not.
Okay.
Well, I didn't listen to the podcast. I really don't know what I'm trying to do right now. What do you really want me to do?
This is your invitation to say whatever you want about any subject you want. Well,
Oh. Dave, how come Atlanta Bottle Company ain't give Stars Right Here no money yet?
We're working on your room.
Well, you know what?
We're working on your room.
I'm playing around. Right now, this company is actually helping me create like a game room for the kids. So that's huge. So thank you, man.
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have
We're
a
gonna
lot
have
of fun.
fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's unbelievable how companies like yours, man, is like really stepping up. You know what I mean? To help what we're doing. Every time I call Dave, if he don't answer, he calls me right back. He the man at his company. He calls me, you man. You know what I'm saying? He calls me right back. And it makes me feel good knowing that I can like reach out to people that have influence in their company and to actually help what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, with these kids. So, man,
Hey, brother.
thank you guys,
All right.
man. Appreciate you, man, for real.
Will Keeps, everybody. Thank
Yeah.
you so much,
Well,
Will. Pleasure
you.
meeting you. I hope we stay
You too.
connected. All right, we're gonna wrap up here, but we definitely have to get Rob Taylor up here, the owner, master distiller of these amazing spirits that you guys have enjoyed tonight from Revelton Distilling Company. I think he's over there talking to Amy Blair, who was one of our previous guests on a podcast. Check out her episode.
Well, how small of a world was it that I did listen
You did.
as an example?
Yes.
I listened to that episode, and then I texted you the next day, and I said, "Hey, I think I know Amy.
Yes.
I think that we knew each other way back in the late '80s
Yes.
in a
And
different
during high
era."
school, yeah.
Yes, small world.
Yeah. So what was funny was I texted her that, and she immediately texts back and goes, "Oh, Dave Larson?" And I was like, "Yes." Look, see, so it's all Amy's fault. She's talking. She won't shut up.
Yeah.
So let's bring up Rob Taylor from Revelton Distilling Company, please. Got my apple juice here. Yeah,
So
your apple juice,
we already
yeah.
played your commercial, so there's no break in between sitting down and being. We're not that organized.
How often do you drink your own product? Quite a bit, right?
I do, but I also drink other people's product. I mean, I think it's the cool thing about being in this business is it's kind of like a fraternal organization of brothers and sisters across the world. And whiskey sometimes is the universal uniter.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and part of what we do on this podcast with this network is to try to bring people together. And we've talked about how sometimes you can sit over and have a bottle of whiskey and work things out.
Yeah, when I was at Costco, what was that, 3 or 4 weeks ago doing the barrel pick? That felt weird. We had like 20 people lined up waiting for me to sign their bottle, and I'm like, I'm just a guy that lives down the street here. What the heck? But I personalized some of the back of those bottles, and there was a beautiful thing that Ben Franklin said once when he was ambassador of the United States to France. And the French were giving him crap about the fact that he never drank cognac. And he said, well, there's a reason why I don't drink cognac, and I drink American whiskey. He says, American whiskey is the lubricant that greases the skids of democracy. And fast forward to where we're at in the world today, I think that we need to have something where we break bread, have a little bit of a cocktail or a mocktail or whatever you enjoy, and get around a table and figure out what it is that we agree upon, and not spend the entire time being armchair quarterbacks on our phones and posting things to make other people look bad.
Amen to that, brother.
There you go, brother.
So you mentioned your travels,
Yes.
and you do try other whiskeys in different parts of the world. Where have your travels taken you more recently?
I've been to Ireland a number of times. I've been to India. I love Indian gin. Not a fan of Indian whiskey because, and it's just their climate. To make whiskey and bourbon, you need extreme climates. You need extreme hot and extreme cold. If you just have hot and then hotter, that's a great place to make rum, but not necessarily the best place to make whiskey. Which, by the way, is part of the reason why at Revelton we don't make rum, because if you want good rum, you go to the Caribbean, or you go around the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, it's still the Gulf of Mexico.
I knew I liked you.
I know, right? Great. I'm gonna get a posting on X tomorrow. So, I love Irish whiskey. I love the ambience around that. I love, the thing is when you're in Ireland, the two things that everyone universally like to talk about in Ireland is whiskey and politics, and both of which, as a recovering politician, I can sit there with the best. But here's the cool thing. The more whiskey that you get an Irishman, the more he wants to talk about politics, and then the less I have to talk. So, just beautiful people, great whiskeys. Ireland is kind of like Iowa with mountains and little white polka dots all over the green countryside, which are these beautiful sheep that you can see from miles and miles away. So as far as other places I've traveled, Canada makes some great Canadian whiskey. They do it well, but I would like to say that in the United States, we probably do a much better job of making corn-based whiskeys, just because of our climate in Kentucky and the sweetness that our soils bring to corn. The Canadians have the same thing in Canada, because they base most of their whiskeys on rye and barley. So both have a very sweet taste to them as well. Did I answer that question?
Yes, you did.
I'm
Very
sorry.
well.
I'm
Thank
still
you.
a recovering politician, so I tend to talk too much.
Let me ask you a question about the word, the naming of Revelton and the label, because I've heard this story before.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of got a unique twist, and then your son kind of revealed something to you and whatever. Talk a little bit about why you chose the word Revelton and why the label is so iconic.
Sure. Well, the label is a combination of Christy and myself trying to find a label that was simple but elegant, and it was about 2 years worth of work just on the label alone. Nearly a year trying to find a bottle that would fit the female hand well, because a lot of times when you talk about bourbon, guys, we just kind of stumble over this stuff. We have big clunky hands, but over 50% of the bartenders in today's world, the United States, are women. And my wife is all of 4'11" and 90 pounds wet, and she's got these tiny little Dutch hands. And there's nothing more intimidating than making an old fashioned and having to pick up a big clunky bottle with both hands and pour with it. It just doesn't look great. So we found a bottle that fit Christy's hands very, very well, and it's one of the biggest comments that we get out in the field, in bars and restaurants and even grocery stores, about how simple, elegant, and easy to handle our bottles are. Now, the name itself, Revelton, when we first went down the road of starting our distillery, the first thing that we had to do is figure out what our name was. And if you want a good exercise in
I don't exercise.
Marriage 101.
Oh, okay.
Marital
I wasn't
exercise.
sure where you were going with that.
Yeah,
I don't like the exercise.
yeah, I know. I've known you since 9th grade. I understand. But we needed to find a name that that described both my wife and I. So our consultant, the very first thing he said was, you need to find a word that describes both you and your wife. Well, 3 months later, and quite a lot of disagreements,
She told you what it was.
she told me what it was. No, actually, we came to be on this one. So we both agreed that revel, to dance and celebrate loudly, fit both of us. But that in and of itself didn't seem complete. So we've already been to Jameson a couple of times in Ireland, and we liked the sound of that. So our intention when we started Revelton was to call it Revel Town. We were at dinner one night with our teenage son who was doing teenage things, meaning he was stuffing his face full of food, and he tried to say with a face full of food, I don't like Reveltown, and it came out Revelton. And as soon as he said that, literally,
Boom.
Christy had her computer with us at this restaurant, and she goes on the federal trademark, copyright and trademark to see if that was taken. It wasn't. And the fast forward about 3 months later, we had a copyright on and a trademark on the word Revelton. Didn't think it meant anything. And when I released the name to some of my close friends in some of my former staffers when I was in politics, one particular lady, Flora Schmidt, as soon as I released the name, within a second, she texts me back and she's like, that name fits you perfectly. And I'm like, question mark, what do you know that I don't know? It doesn't mean anything. And she says, no, it actually does. She had actually went on to Google, and I challenge all of you to do this. If you do a Google search, before Revelton was formed, Revelton is proper name in Irish for maker of spirits. So it was a total, absolute, stumbled over. It was just a lucky accident. And in Gaelic, really old Irish, it actually means diplomat. So bring it full circle with Ben Franklin about using American whiskey to be the lubricant that greases the skids of democracy. That is my next diplomatic mission, if and when I ever become an ambassador for the United States someday. So,
Sure, you want to get back into that area?
Nope. I am the poster child that politics will drive somebody to drink.
But Rebel, you continue to grow. I mean, it's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, as a consumer and certainly as someone, we appreciate the sponsorship.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Three Beards and all of our podcasts. But can you share with us about some of what's next in line? You know, you're now distributing to what, 42 states?
We are through our direct-to-consumer wing of our business. So people can go to reveltondistillery.com and hover over any one of our products. And if it's available online, they can order it. The irony is you can't, if you're in the state of Iowa, you can't order it online.
So it's this.
In our
I'll
own
just
state.
have to drive down to Hy-Vee to get it.
Yeah,
No,
which
you drive down to
Suffer.
you drive down to Osceola.
Well,
you
yeah,
have the
that's true.
drinks at the tasting room. Then you buy directly from Rock.
look, a lot of the stuff that we have to do in alcohol has an awful lot to do with post-prohibition. You guys talked about Capone a little bit. There was some things that were put in place post-Capone that is supposed to equal the playing field, and at the time it might have, but fast forward to, nearly 100 years later, we need to revise some of these rules and laws. And the good news is that I've been able to do it since I left the legislature in 2018. I know Will was talking about different people he's worked with, and I've always prided myself to work across the aisle and work with both sides. And there's some really common sense stuff in alcohol law that when you set people down and tell them things like 5 years ago, distilleries couldn't be restaurants because there's these tied house rules is what they call them that were post-prohibition that says there's really 3 tiers of alcohol. There's a producer, there's a wholesaler, and a retailer, and you can only play in one of those sandboxes. Well, if Revelton became a restaurant, which, by the way, if there's any place that somebody needs to get food in their belly, it should be when you're sipping spirits or having a cocktail, right?
Yeah.
So I spent nearly a year bringing leaders from the House and the Senate and the Iowa legislature, the governor's office, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Agriculture, Iowa Economic Development Authority, did a big tour of Revelton. And then at the end there, I said, what do you think? Oh, man, it's awesome. I said, did you know that we can't be a restaurant?
You should have said, "Are you hungry?"
Yeah, right, I know.
It's a darn shame I can't give you a hamburger right now.
Yep.
Well, let me go down to Come and Go and get you a pack of chips.
Well, I mean, you're friends with the governor. Will's friends with the governor. Let's get her on the phone right now. Let's call her. Let's get this solved.
She did actually a year
Yes,
ago.
you're right.
A year
She
ago,
did.
we were able
Yep.
to change the law. So now distilleries can be restaurants if they choose to do so, and they can sell food. They also can have anybody's alcohol behind the bar. 'Cause
That
I-
was the other thing. That was a big thing for you, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Senate
So-
File 2371 allowed, a lot of times people in the industry, whatever your passion is, you tend to put walls around it and try and protect your own silo, right? So the beer people were trying to put legislation around their silo to protect beer, and then you got wine people that are trying to protect wine, and you got the distillery people that are trying to protect spirits. And I'm like, hold on, alcohol is alcohol is alcohol, right? In the end, yes. So don't you think that we should be able, especially if we're going to build things like tourism in the state of Iowa? I mean, name 5 things that bring people to Iowa every year. Can anybody?
State fair.
Anyone? State fair.
Iowa State Cyclone football.
Iowa State Cyclone football, and the other side too.
Okay, I suppose.
I mean, but what I'm saying is that if you're,
Oh, I thought this was a real quiz.
no, I'm sorry.
I was failing.
When Will was talking about,
I was trying to cheat off Amy's paper like normal.
yeah, a win for taking a test. I was thinking about you and me in high school,
Yeah.
and we didn't get caught.
Yeah. We could have used Will to champion that for us.
That's right.
There is probably a statute of limitations. You guys are good.
All right. Good.
Gosh, I forgot where I was at.
Shit, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm 3 old-fashioned.
Oh, five things to bring people to Iowa,
That's
right?
right. Yes.
Okay, so if you think about all the wineries and the craft breweries that are in the state of Iowa, the one stat that I know is there's roughly 30 distilleries now licensed all over the state of Iowa. But when you connect those distilleries to the wineries and the breweries, you can make a day of that. You can have a day trip or an overnight. You can go up to Decorah and go to Topple and Goliath, and then after you go to Topple and Goliath, you can spend the night in Decorah. And there's some other beautiful distilleries and wineries around there. So I was the one guy that was like, we need to connect these, and the industry really didn't like it. But fast forward to today, distilleries can sell any alcohol behind the bar that they want. Breweries and wineries can do the same thing. And we, again, it's that whole fraternal organization of helping each other help each other.
There we go.
Yeah.
Rob Taylor, everybody. Master Distiller, Robertson Distiller Company. Appreciate the support, my friend.
Love you, brother.
Love you too. Thank you guys so much for stepping out. Thank you guys for listening. This has been another episode of Old Man Strength. Dave, I appreciate it so much.
You
for
bet,
everything
brother.
do for
It's
Three
been good to
Beers
have
Media.
you.
Yeah.
It's been good to be on your show for once, and instead of you coming on and laughing at all of us.
I
and
know, right? I'm usually
We
just
try
in
to
the
be
background.
professional like you.
No, you don't want to. I should not be the standard. I'll tell you right now. I once joked if somebody has to drop my name to get into a place, it's probably not a place you want to get into. So.
But honestly, though, this is a lot of fun, and I think that I've always not only are we friends, but I've really admired the Three Beards Media and just the fun that you like to have. I think that's one of the important things that you bring to this is the ability to have fun and just don't take things too seriously.
Have you talked to him about this yet?
About his beard, his half beard that he's
Yeah,
got growing
it
in?
is Three Beards Media, right?
Well, we kicked one beard out. And we like the name so much, we just decided, let's just keep it. 2 beards isn't near as cool. That doesn't sound near as cool.
See me in November. I can grow a beard like that.
Yeah, he grows one in November for No Shave November.
All right.
It's still pretty pathetic, though, just to be honest.
Yeah, I did that about 21 years ago.
It's about a Dallas Cowboy offense pathetic is what it is.
Oh,
Let's just get one last shot in there. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks again for listening to Three Beards Media. Support all the rest of the podcasts on the network. Of course, support our amazing sponsors, Revelton Distilling Company, styled by JJ Boutique, Kyle Lehman, and, of course, Andrew Downs at AKC Marketing. And with that, we are out of here.
Old man strength, built to last. Try to break me, you won't get past. Ain't no quit, ain't no doubt. You don't know time.